And in the U.S. stock index, futures pointed to a roughly flat open, putting the main gauges on track for a second straight day of muted action. We're looking at the main benchmarks now. The Dow Jones Industrial Average futures shed 0.13%, while the S&P 500 futures dipped to 2,704.75. Nasdaq 100 futures shed 0.21%. And the markets in Asia closed higher Thursday amid improved investor sentiment and higher crude oil prices. The Nikkei 225 added 0.15%, with the materials sector contributing to gains. In Seoul, the Kospi finished 0.25% higher. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index rose 1.21%, while the Shanghai Composite added 0.85%, closing at 3,117.55. Away from the stock markets now, the International Energy Agency estimates that as many as 290 million Africans will be served by mini-grids by the year 2030. Mini-grids and other distributed renewable solutions are seen as the least cost option for connecting three-quarters of the unelectrified population in places like sub-Saharan Africa. Now, a new body called the African Mini-Grid Developers Association has been formed to address the challenge of power on the continent via mini-grid solutions. Well, let's chat to a representative of the new AMDA, John Kidenda. He's also a director at PowerGen Renewable Energy, joining us from Kenyan capital, Nairobi. Good to have you on the show today.
Hi, Tracy. Great to be here.
Now, what does your new Mini-Grid Developers Association look to achieve in the near to medium term?
Yeah, so the African Mini-Grid Developers Association, or AMDA as we call it, aims to get to 100% electrification of the continent by 2030. And we think that mini-grids are going to have to play a significant role in that electrification mission. And therefore, we've created the association as a body through which mini-grid developers can work together to push for policies to provide information to support both public sector and private sector actors in the mission of electrifying the African continent.
What type of technology are your members deploying to deliver cheap, affordable, and sustainable energy to the majority of Africans at the bottom of the pyramid?
That's a great question. As a whole, the African Mini-Grid Developers Association is composed of entities that are primarily using renewable energy, but we also believe very strongly in the gap and the space for hybrid systems that can provide, as you said, cheap or affordable power to the bulk of the unelectrified population of the continent, which is primarily people of little means. It's an interesting question also because it is the specific technology of mini-grids that actually plays a significant role in reducing the cost of delivering power. A lot of people think of the cost of delivering power primarily through the lens of what the source of energy is, but a big part of the costs that are associated with power provision are distribution costs, location of power plants vis-a-vis location of centers of demand. And so with mini-grids being able to place themselves as close as possible to centers of demand, you reduce a lot of the associated costs of delivering power. And so the technology around distribution is a major piece of technology that we use to deliver affordable, reliable, clean power.
And what support is the AfDB providing your energy group?
The AfDB have been extremely supportive of the push for mini-grids to form a part of the electrification landscape of the continent. They have cordoned off about 75 million connections within their New Deal on Energy program to be addressed with distributed sources of power within which mini-grid sits. They also created the Green Mini-Grid program that provides funding to mini-grids through concessional financing channels. And they're actively in conversation with us and with other players in the sector to ensure that they are articulating the policy goals and targets that make the most sense for private sector players to engage actively in the renewable energy space in general, but specifically in the mini grid space.
John, I'm sure that many would like to know how many more mini grid developers are signing up to AMDA across countries and regions.
Yeah, so AMDA is still a very young body. As you mentioned, we recently launched, but we already have 11 mini grid developers here in East Africa. We have 7 lining up to join in Nigeria specifically, and we have a country chapter framework through which people in the mini grid sector join the association. We have interest coming in from Zambia and Mali and Uganda and Ethiopia as well. So we are expecting to be at around 20 to 30 members by the end of this year, and then just keep on growing from there. Those 20 and 30 to 30 members will be probably across the countries that I've mentioned, so about 5 to 7 countries.
AMDA representative John Kadenda, thanks for speaking with us.
Thank you, Bissy.
In other stories now, Tanzanian President John Magufuli has appointed Idris Kikula as the chairman for the country's new mining commission. The president also named 8 commissioners to serve under Mr. Kikula. This paves the way for the issuance of new mining licenses as the gold-producing country seeks a bigger slice of the pie from its vast mineral resources by overhauling the fiscal and regulatory regime of its mining sector. Magufuli sent shockwaves through the mining community with a series of actions since his election in late 2015, which he says are aimed at distributing revenue to the Tanzanian people. In July last year, he suspended the issuance of all mining licenses until the new mining commission was in place. A statement from the Tanzanian presidency said these appointments take immediate effect. The appointment of the Mining Commission and new regulations published in January mean that the country can now resume issuing new mining licenses to investors. And the International Monetary Fund says it's receptive to a request from Angola for non-financial assistance to help it implement economic reforms. Angola continues to suffer from lower oil prices, which have caused a dollar liquidity squeeze, making it difficult for foreign companies to repatriate profits and discourage many from investing. The country's finance ministry wants a deal with the IMF known as a policy coordination instrument that will help to improve the external credibility with positive impact on the ability to attract foreign direct investment. In a statement, the ministry said it was seeking help in implementing its macroeconomic stabilization plan. The IMF confirmed the receipt of the request, saying it stands ready to help Angola address its economic challenges by supporting a comprehensive policy package. The statement explained that while the policy coordination instrument does not involve any IMF financing, the policies supported under it must meet the same standard as those required under a standard IMF loan. Still to come on Business Incorporated, the commodities market update focuses on Nigeria's consumer confidence index. Do stay with us.